What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Command and Console. My name is Jason. Today we are looking at a underrated Xbox 360 haul. I've been really jumping on the 360 lately because everyone's talking about it, because later on in the year the 360 digital stores are going to be shutting down. Everyone's talking about how they expect stuff to creep up in price. You've probably started seeing it already. That is happening. So I thought I'm going to jump on the 360 and get games that are not necessarily backwards compatible with the Xbox Series X. I do want to get those, but I'm getting games that are kind of underrated, that didn't get the due that I think they kind of deserve. Games I enjoy, games that didn't get the greatest reception, or did and since have been forgotten for some reason. So without further ado, let's get into the haul. The first game is a backwards compatible 360 title that I wanted to get. I remember picking this up when it first came out, when games were £40 in the UK brand new, and I remember saying to myself, this is the kind of quality I want from a video game when I pay 40 quid. And now they're charging 70, and the quality has dropped dramatically these days. I'm talking about a game called Max Payne 3. It's developed by Rockstar. Really high quality cinematic Max Payne game. Is it as good as the two previous titles? I don't know if I want to say it is or not, but I remember absolutely adoring this game when it first came out. I thought the graphics were incredible. I thought the gameplay was really fun. I've not played it since then. This when games used to come on multiple discs back in the day, as they do. Yeah, backwards compatible with my Series X, which I'm really happy about. This is going to be quite fun to go back to, but it's also one to add to the collection as well. So Max Payne 3, yeah, this was a £5 in CEX price up there, but yeah, that's Max Payne 3. Really happy to add that to the collection. I'm calling it underrated solely because I feel like when people talk about Max Payne, no one ever talks about the third game. They always talk about the first two, so it's kind of underrated these days. Well received when it came out, a bit underrated now, Max Payne 3. Here's a really underrated European RPG that I just really enjoy it. This version of the game, it might be the worst version of that game. This game is called Ryen. This 360 version of the game is pretty terrible. The controls are pretty bad, and overall it's a bit of an ugly, terrible mess. On 360 I wanted to get it because it's backwards compatible, and I can really kind of I do want to run through this version of it as well and play it, because just for the lulz really. This game was... It's weird, it was, I'm speaking strictly on the 360 version, this game was absolutely destroyed when it came out. People hated it, really did not like this game at all. The actual 360 version is pretty, it's a bad port, lack of better words really. Terrible, bad port, but I've played the opening maybe an hour or so of this game on backwards compatible on my Series X. They fixed the frame rate issues, because the original playing this, if you play this on 360, the actual frame rate is almost unplayable. It's dreadful. The Series X really does correct the frame rate. It's pretty much 60 across the board. It plays really smoothly. But yeah, it's really fun. I like these kind of janky, rough around the edges RPGs. I just think they just got so much charm to them. I spoke about this with two Worlds as well. Everyone hated that game, but I don't know, I found charm in it. I found charm in the old English speaking and the terrible combat and stuff like that. It's something about these kind of poorly made games that I just find some kind of love for them. And Ryen is no exception, but obviously I feel like there's a lot of hatred for the 360 port, but the PC version and the new remastered version are vastly superior. So if you're going to play this, don't necessarily play the 360 version. Get the remastered version on consoles, or just download the original PC version and mod it to hell, because it's great. That's Ryen. All these come with manuals. As you can see, I don't have a disc in there because it's in my Series X, because I've been playing it. Yeah, really fun. Terrible port, but it's got its charms though. It's got its charm. That's Ryen. Following up the janky European RPGs, Ryen 2. Yeah, I just bought this today actually, as we're filming this. I went to CEX, £2.50. This is one of those games where it's like it's brand new. It's still got the little seam on there. It comes with a manual. It's in pristine condition as well. Now Ryen 2, as I kind of praised the accolades of Ryen 1, especially the PC port and the recently remastered versions, Ryen 2 was not as bad of a console port as the original Risen was, but as a game it's a weaker affair in my opinion. They've gone more down a pirate theme, which would be cool, but the core mechanics and the core questing kind of systems have changed a bit, and it does get a bit frustrating where you can't really get better at fighting without going on quests to earn gold to pay someone to train you to fight, and in that process you will die a lot because your character sucks at fighting with swords and shit. So it is a bit frustrating in systems. I found myself going on these quests to get gold to actually be able to improve my character, because the skill tree is all about getting trained by different characters, different things. They can teach you different things, and I found that a bit cumbersome and a bit tedious, and yeah, it didn't really make the game that interesting. I thought the pirate theme in the tropical world was pretty nice. The world's pretty cool. I think these kind of games like Risen 2 and the original Risen, the developer Piranha Bytes, they are masters in the RPG field for just building a world you want to explore, and that's the best thing about Risen 2. Is it's great to explore it, the world and stuff, and go walk about and see what's around you. You know, choose a ship to buy because you're a pirate after all, and sail the seas and go to new islands, and you've got new places to explore. It's good on that front. Combat is pretty terrible, like I said, unless you're able to really go bypass some combat and get gold to be able to train your character to be a really good fighter with whatever you want, you know, swords and muskets and stuff like that. But it's definitely a weaker sequel to the original Risen. This next game is underrated in my opinion. Again, this whole I picked these up because I just wanted to get these for the collection. I know there's a remastered version of this game. It's the version I played and I finished and I loved it. Probably one of my favourite zombie games of all time, if it's not Resident Evil related, and that is Dead Island Riptide. I adore this game. I put 30 hours into the campaign and I just absolutely adored it. I think it's fantastic. There's so much to do in this open world zombie game. It's just awesome. There's nothing like this game when it concerns its first person combat. It's very unique. It's very about targeting certain limbs and targeting certain body parts of the zombies to slow them down, to debilitate them and stuff like that. It's just so much fun, man. I absolutely adore this game. This game was not really well received at all when it came out. People saw it as more of the same of the original Dead Island, but I think it's superior in every way to the original Dead Island. I tried going back to the original Dead Island and I found it a bit really bad in terms of trying to go back to it. This one does improve a lot of systems and a lot of things in it. I definitely love this one. If you've not played Dead Island Riptide and you want a kind of a open world zombie survival game with really interesting combat and just fun gameplay overall, I think this is a really good starting point for that kind of game. I think it's fantastic. It's on PS4 as well. There's a remastered version on PS4 that I really recommend, because they improve the frame rate, they improve the visuals, and some of the systems get tweaked and stuff like that. But this game is one of my favourite zombie games ever, and yeah, I had to pick it up just for the collection, just to have a physical copy of it because I love it. That's Dead Island Riptide. Next up we have Zone of the Enders HD Collection. This is Zone of the Enders 1 and Zone of the Enders the Second Runner. These games are really decent. I'm not the biggest mech kind of robot game fan, I suppose you want to call it. Games like Armored Core don't interest me too much, unfortunately, but this one, especially the first game, I've not played the second game before, but the first game I thought was really interesting, really fun. If you've ever seen the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, I think you get a kick out of these games. I think they're very much inspired by that anime series. But yeah, I do really enjoy the first game of this. I'm looking forward to revisiting it because in high definition as well. It comes with a manual, and the cool thing about this as well, it comes with the Metal Gear Rising demo disc, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's Zone of the Enders HD Collection. Really recommend this one. It's really cool. The first one in particular is really cool. Not played the second one. Let me know if the second one's worth a try. I'm going to play it anyway, but let me know if it's worth a go. That's Zone of the Enders. These last two games are probably, in my opinion, the most, I suppose, underrated or misunderstood games on the 360. I had to buy them. I paid over the odds for them, and they're both, I believe, currently at the time of recording, at the time of buying these as well, they were both out of stock in CEX. I bought these on eBay and with that you're going to be paying a bit more money than you're going to want to versus what CEX sold them for. So the first game I'm talking about is Knight's Contract. This is a really fun little Devil May Cry-esque, you know, action game, I suppose. Something about this game that I just really enjoy. I think the combat's really fun. You can switch between the two characters at will as well, so you've got different combat options there, and it's just really flashy, really fun. It's got that over-the-top silly character action style like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. Really underrated, super underrated. This game, give it a go if you like your kind of weird Japanese action games, because this is a really weird one, but it's super entertaining. That's Knight's Contract. The final game is a game I picked up brand new. Again, this was on CEX and it was £20 on CEX, but out of stock at time of buying these and at the time of recording it. This game is out of stock in CEX. I paid a little bit extra, but it is sealed, so I was pretty happy about that. I paid 30 for this game for a sealed copy. Not too bad. This game is called Never Dead. It's a game by Konami, and it is about a man who is a 500-year-old demon hunter condemned to live forever. He hunts demons for the government, aided by his mortal assistant Arcadia. To save himself and humanity, he must face the Demon King who cursed him all those years ago. So, the premise of this game is obviously you're a demon hunter, so you've got to go around killing demons, but it's got a really cool kind of like body deformation kind of mechanic where your body, if you take too much damage, your body will fall apart. Like your arm will come off and your legs will come off, your head will come off, and there is points where you've got to go back and find your limbs and, you know, repair yourself because you are immortal. Even to the point where you might be down to your head, you've got to roll your head around to collect your rest of your limbs and your body to stitch yourself back together to continue the fight. It's really unique. It's pretty jank, I won't lie, but these games that I find didn't get the best reception, that I find pretty fun, pretty underrated, they're gonna have some jank in there. This one's really fun game. I love that cover art. I think that cover art's awesome as well, very unique, very cool. It's a Konami game, like I said. If you've not heard of this game, I don't blame you for not hearing about it. No one talks about this game. Never Dead. It's so good. I'm gonna crack the seal on this one because I'm all for. I'm actually super looking forward to playing this one because I really enjoyed it back in the day. I'm gonna do a cut here, so let's just cut. Done. So yeah, unsealed this one. Yeah, really happy about getting this brand new and sealed. A little bit extra than CEX, but I mean, I'm okay with paying £10 extra to have the game brand new sealed compared to the CEX price. If I was paying more than that, if I was paying like £20 or £30 more, if I was paying double the price of what CEX would pay to get it sealed, I don't think I would have done. But yeah. These are two of the most underrated games on the 360, and with the store going down, these two I think are only going to go up in price. This has already gone up in price. I remember when this was like 12 quid in CX, now it's 20. This used to be like 6 to 8 quid and now it's 10. So they are going up, or 12, it could be 12. But either way, these are going up in price. These are the only way you can play these, is buy these physical versions. If these games interest you in the slightest, I highly recommend them. I think they're super underrated, probably the two most underrated games on the system in my opinion. Nobody talks about them. I think they're super fun. They're really unique in what they are as well, and I think you might have a blast with them, especially Never Dead. It's so unique, it's so cool. I think it's a super cool game. It's got a bit of Devil May Cry vibe in there, but it's this weird kind of like demon killing, demon hunting kind of third person shooter hack and slash thing where your body can fall apart and you have to pick up your limbs and repair yourself. It's super cool. Anyway guys, that is the haul for today. You might say to yourself, well Jason, Zone of the Enders isn't technically underrated. It's not, but I feel like it's kind of forgotten, so it's kind of underrated in the fact that no one talks about it, and it's a really cool mech game. You know, Max Payne is a big kind of top tier game when it came out. No one talks about Max Payne 3. Nobody talks about it. The Risen games are really cool for what they are. Yeah, it's just cool little janky games. Dead Island Riptide, no one cares about this one. And I fucking love it. I think it's fantastic. So I do recommend all of these games. Go and hunt them down. Specifically, those two, you know, Never Dead and Knight's Contract are very good. Risen and Risen 2 are both backwards compatible with 360 as well, with Xbox Series X, sorry. So if you've got the newer Xbox consoles, you can play those. Just put a disc in and download the game straight away. And you probably get frame rate boosts and a bit of a resolution bump as well. But these are 100% well worth it. I highly recommend them. Definitely get onto 360, guys. I've really thought to myself, maybe I need to get some of these more kind of obscure titles, because once that store closes, the only way to get those games are on the physical front. And this is why I love physical media, because some of these games would be inaccessible otherwise and are trapped on the console, unfortunately. But those are those. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of any of these games. And as always, let's continue to build an Xbox 360 collection.